Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I'm your reader, Jay. These are going to be, well, this is going to be, I should say, a birthday message for Taurus during your birthday month. What's going on, Taurus? How are you doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Oh, man. Well, happy birthday, Taurus. I made it. I made it. I made it. I've been busy for the past couple of days, but today is April 21st, which by how I do my calculations or where I get the timing from, Taurus season begins on the 21st. But for some of you, maybe it was the 20th. So I apologize for those who were born on April 20th and you consider yourself a Taurus. I'm sorry, but I do it on the 21st. Anyway, so happy birthday to all of you, regardless of when your birthday is. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you have a wonderful celebration of your birth. I hope you are spending it with people who love you and that you love back, and it's a wonderful, happy day. And if it's not, I hope it gets better, okay? Because I know, some days it's just not going, right? Which has kind of been my experience recently. Anyway, enough about me. This is about you. All right, Taurus. I do these for each sign. I started it last year with Leo, so I'm almost back to my year anniversary with them. But what happens is I'm going to lay a 6-card spread. It's going to be tiered a little differently than I do my general readings. You'll see that. And each position actually does have a specific meaning to it. So we're going to follow it through step by step, basically. You can look in the you can look in the description box below for the timestamp if you want to jump ahead. There's also going to be a timestamp down there for the oracle card at the end, so don't forget that part of it. And yeah, also down there is the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. If whatever happens here isn't good enough or you want to expand on that, you can just go ahead and work with me and I'll get you sorted out, okay? All right, Taurus, let's get into it. Let's get your birthday messages, okay? One more? Yeah, I could do one more bridge. And I think we're good to go after we do this, right? Oh, 2. Okay, fine, 2. One more. Yeah, good, very good. All right, Taurus, let's get it. Birthday messages for Taurus, please. There. Ooh, did it flip? Did something flip over? No, okay. One more time. Almost. Oh, there it goes. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. No bottom of the deck. We'll do an oracle later to kind of give us an overall theme. And that's the positioning. So let's go ahead and flip these bad boys over and see what you got. Wow, I saw that a lot in the pre-shuffle. That's interesting. Okay. And I saw that too. Ooh, Taurus. What's going on, guys? What's going on with your life? And again, the timestamp is in the bottom if you want to go ahead and skip over this. I totally understand. I don't blame you. I don't blame anybody who uses the timestamp to get ahead. But for those who are here now, I appreciate you watching me kind of OCD my board here a little bit. How's that look? Pretty good. I think you can see everything, yeah? Yes, you can. Cool. All right, guys. So we have 6 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to go through them step by step. So you come in with the Hermit card. Now, this first position is what you're coming in with during your birthday period between the 21st and the 20th of May. It's kind of a sort of what you're already familiar with, you know what I mean? What you've been experiencing as of late, recently, before your birthday, maybe even sometime before in 2019 or even at the end of 2018. So you got the Hermit card, Major Arcana card for Virgo. So you might have a Virgo in your life who is significant, but does not have to be. Oh man, so like spiritual and emotional or some type of seclusion. You've been going through some type of seclusion, okay? You've been going through some type of inner work. You've been really trying to make heads or tails of your life and really trying to get centered. Some type of understanding within yourself, Taurus. And it's a healing card. The Hermit is about reflection. It's about going into the depths of yourself, the depths of your mind, your soul, your consciousness, whatever we're talking about today. And really kind of sorting through the mess that's in there, sorting through the mess that's on the inside of you, the internal mess that you have to deal with. So that involves a lot of things, you know, that involves a lot of often pain, often confusion, often sadness, anger, you know, and a lot of it is to deal with, not always, but a lot of it is to deal with your past. But I feel for you, Taurus, this could also be concurrently. Like, I feel like, for many, like, this is like regressive work that you've done internally, or things that you've been pondering, things that you've been sort of reflecting on, that have been with you since, you know, maybe your childhood or your young adult years, whatever. Others of you, you are in this energy about a recent event. Like, it's not something from decades ago. It's like within the last few months, or the last few weeks, maybe. Or something that has resurfaced that you had put to bed from years ago. Does that make sense? But whatever it is, the Hermit, being that you're coming in with this energy, you've been here for a minute. And that's the thing about the Hermit. He spends a long time reflecting and working through the past shit, working through past issues. You know what I mean? He doesn't, it's not a weekend thing. This isn't like some trivial, oh, I'm just going to think about my childhood, or I'm going to work through my daddy issues in an afternoon. No, the Hermit is a very intense energy. It's very powerful. It's very consuming. Thank you. That's the word I want to say. Consuming. And it's not to say like you're miserable, you're walking around with like your hoodie up over your head and you've got bags under your eyes and you look a mess. I'm not saying that. You're probably functioning very well on the outside, but somewhere internally for you, Taurus, you've been doing a lot of soul searching. You've been really trying to figure out who you are, what's going on in your life, why did these things happen, how did these things affect me, how are these things still affecting me, etc., etc., etc. Now, in terms of how this might be manifesting, some of you might just be praying a lot, meditating a lot, trying to find your center yourself. Some of you might be in counsel with another person, seeing a therapist, seeing a social worker, seeing a family therapist. Some of you might be calling your best friend every weekend, girl, we need some mimosas and we need to get together because this issue isn't sorted with me. But whatever it is, there is a portion of your time, a portion of your day, even if it's small, like a 5-minute meditation, a 5-minute, you know, pep talk or manifestation session that you do, or affirmations that you do in the mirror, whatever you're doing, or, you know, 3 hours a week talking to your friend, or an hour a week talking to your therapist. I don't care what it is. It is a ritual. You do it regularly, whether you are intending it or not intending it. Now, for those who are not intending, I think that's more the casual approach, where you're talking to your best friend, you're talking to your parents or someone that you trust, and you're asking their advice. You're doing this and you're not aware. Others of you, you're super aware. You know exactly what this is. You recognize this energy in yourself, and regardless of how you're approaching this, or how it's manifesting in your life, or how you're coming to tackle this Hermit energy, I feel it's working. I don't feel many of you are having setbacks. You might be discouraged. I'll say that. Some of you might be discouraged. Some of you might not be seeing results, or you're frustrated that you still have to sit here and reflect upon things that you no longer want to reflect upon. You want to be done with it. You want to be over whatever is in your way, or you want to have a resolution to whatever problems or whatever things are causing you to feel hung up, right? But regardless of how you feel about it right now in this moment, I think the progress has been noticeable or quantifiable. You will be able to, at some point, if you can't already, be able to measure the difference between who you will be in the future and who you are now, and who you were back in your past when you were younger, when you were a child, whatever. Like, there is just an evolution going on within you, Taurus, and I think it's super positive. I feel that even if you can't recognize it right now, it's happening. It's happening. The changes and the healing, because again, this is about having to go back towards things that are painful, that are causing you to be withheld or causing you to be stuck, and really finding resolution to them. Some of you are doing hard work with therapy or talking your issues out with other people. Others of you, it's much more subtle, it's much more personal, and regardless, most people probably don't know you're doing this, or they don't know how much of a, like, how big of a deal it is for you to do this. Like, this is some heavy duty lifting that you're doing, and you're doing well. So good job, good on you, okay? Now your second card is what's at the core of you. Basically, what's going to be the focal point, or the big point of presence is how they're, that's such a weird way of phrasing that. But basically, what's going to be at the central of you, or the central theme of your birthday period, okay? And you have the Wheel of Fortune. Nice. Very nice. Major Arcana card, Wheel of Fortune, yeah? You might as well think of this as something that's going to benefit you, and it's not just because it's the Wheel of Fortune, because whatever's in this central position here in the present, it's what is kind of going to be highlighted for you, or where your attention needs to go. And with the Wheel of Fortune, Major Arcana, that usually represents the fixed signs, so Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, also associated with the planet Jupiter, so there is the overtone of Sagittarius here. But regardless, I feel for you, Leo, oh, I almost called you Leo, I'm sorry, Taurus, I feel for you, Taurus, okay, thank you, because I was sitting here and I'm like, it's mostly good, but then they're like, but talk about that. And I'm like, talk about what? And they drew my eyes down here. So the Wheel of Fortune, as this image kind of portrays, has the potential to be beneficial and not so beneficial, right? On the far side here, you see the first figure climbing up or riding the wheel as it ascends, right? Then you have the second figure at the top, just like sitting on the mountain high, being really relaxed, really contented. And then you have this third figure, which is falling off of the wheel, okay? Now, those three images might reflect the different stages that some of you are in. You know, not all of you are going to be on the same trajectory. That's impossible. It's just probability. It has nothing to do with spirituality or anything like that. It's just probability says not everybody is going to benefit or be experiencing an upswing at the same time. It's just not possible. But for those where you feel you're in this third position, where you're falling off the wheel, keep in mind, it's called the Wheel of Fortune, right? So even if you're on the downturn side and you feel that you're losing things, you feel that things are falling through your fingertips, or you feel opportunities are not coming to you, you feel that relationships are not going well, you feel that your job is hell, or it's not satisfactory, or you're on the brink of quitting or getting fired or whatever, remember, it's a wheel. You will come back up again. That's life. Cyclical. We all have it. Tides come in, tide goes out. However you want to think about it, whatever analogy works best for you. So whatever you're experiencing in terms of loss and misfortune, for now, that's just your lot in life. It'll turn around, okay? For others of you in either the first position or the second position, again, regardless of what we're talking about, it's all rooted here in your first position with the Hermit. Whatever work you're doing is turning this wheel for you. And it's always turned in your favor. Even if you're in that third figure's position and you're falling off the wheel, that's your favor. That sounds kind of harsh. It might sound like I'm being a bitch, but no, that's truly how it is. Because one, like I said, that's life. It's cyclical. We can't all win all the time. We just can't. And when things are removed from your life, when things don't go the way that they're supposed to go, or go the way that you think they're supposed to go, or that you hope that they go, it's still beneficial. You know what I mean? So let's take the example of a job. If you know you're unhappy at your job, and you know you're on the verge of quitting, but, you know, in this day and age, it's not wise to just up and quit a job unless you're like on Shark Tank or something. You've got $1 million idea and Mark Cuban wants to, you know, back your business. That's the only time I think you should be like throwing away your day job, right? So without a sure thing lined up, you're very tense and you're very worried about losing your job or quitting your job, or taken to the point where you feel you have to quit your job, whatever. And that might put you into a panic. That might put you into a deep state of anxiety of, oh my God, I need this job, even though I hate this job because I need to put, you know, food in the fridge. I need to pay my bills. I need to do XYZ to maintain my lifestyle. If you are feeling so compelled to leave a job, or that a job is not for you, or anything, we could be talking about relationships, we could be talking about friendships, or dating relationships, or relationships within your family. We could be talking about something in your lifestyle, your diet habit, or your health diet. Oh my God, I can't talk. You guys, you could be talking about your diet or your health in your fitness routines, in your lifestyle. Yeah, in that regard. Whatever is leaving you, that you feel compelled to get rid of, or is being taken from you in your estimation, let it go. Embrace it quickly. Because somehow, somewhere, in some way, something better is coming up for you. You might not be, this is for everybody, regardless of what position you are on this wheel, right? It's better. The hitch here is, I think, your perspective, Taurus, because as a fixed sign, again, the Wheel of Fortune does talk about fixed signs. The challenge that I feel is indicative of this card is that it spins, right? Like I said, life moves in a cycle. You have your ups and your downs, ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. And the irony is that the fixed signs are associated with this card a lot. Fixed sign energy, again, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, all four of those signs struggle with change. But the Wheel of Fortune is like the epitome of change. It signifies routine change. It signifies necessary change. And fixed signs absolutely struggle with that. If it is out of a fixed sign's hands, if it's not because the fixed sign said, oh, I want to change, it's going to be a problem. Now, again, for your job, for your family life, your health, whatever we're talking about, if you're used to a routine, or you're used to this job providing you with a paycheck, you know, it keeps a roof over your head, you're able to pay your bills on time, etc., 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 you see the utility, you see the value that brings to you. But what's missing is your contentment. So the Wheel of Fortune, God, Spirit, goddesses, Buddha, whoever you believe in, whatever you don't believe in, says, okay, you're not contented. Let's go ahead and change your circumstances. Let's change your fortune. And you're like, but wait a minute. How am I going to feed myself? How am I going to keep clothes on my back? Etc., etc. Yeah? So then you have a conflict. And that's what I'm feeling is like, even though, like I said, you're laying the groundwork here by doing your healing work, doing your retroflection, doing your reflection and retrospect work in here. That's good. You're evaluating things that work for you and don't work for you. You're evaluating things that have held you back, that have stopped your progress. And now you're going to get progress. But now that you've been working towards progress, now you're like, oh no, progress. Yikes. I don't want that. So that's the ironic or sticking point with the Wheel of Fortune and its association with the fixed signs, okay? You being... God, I mean, you know your archetype better than I do. As a Taurus, you're known to be bullheaded, stubborn. You're known to be very, zoned in and laser sights on whatever you want. And when that thing is no longer what you want, or rather, if that thing no longer works for you, you still remain fixated on it. Like you, honestly, I'd say probably you... Maybe Leo too. Definitely Aquarius probably has a little bit of an easier time, I think. But I think for Tauruses, it's like notorious how locked in you can get to be in your mindset and in your attitudes and your belief and in your routines and the way you run your life, your day to day. Routine. And both the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune are coming together to kind of loosen those reins or loosen the grip that you have on routine, on whatever structures that are already in play in your life. I think you're being asked to kind of let it go a little bit, be prepared to replace certain people or certain situations in your life, and be open to it. Regardless of your position on the wheel, you have to be ready to embrace the change, okay? I hope that was like a little weird, because I know that doesn't sound super beneficial. I know that doesn't sound like something that's, oh my God, I hit the jackpot. really you did. Between this and this, I feel you've got a jackpot going on. You just have to understand it and view it in a different way than what you might be viewing it now, Taurus, okay? Coming into your third position, which is kind of what's coming forward towards you. Forward towards you. I can't talk today. This is basically the future, what's coming towards you, what you can expect or look forward to. 8 of Swords. I'm all holding it like down here. Sorry about that. 8 of Swords. So, kind of what I was just foreshadowing. If you're not ready for all the change and the upheaval here, which is big. This is big shit. Between the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune, we're talking very monumental changes. We're talking significant change from that starts from the internal space, which is good. Your motivation and your starting point comes from an internal space. That's amazing. You don't have an external, well, maybe you had an external catalyst, but the actual work that started this change has come from an internal space. Beautiful. That's amazing. And now it's like reverberating and expanding outward to your outside world, to your outside circumstances and relationships and entanglements. And that change is going to cause you to feel panicked, anxious, upset, all kinds of uncertainty is what I'm getting here. Uncertainty. You are probably going to have, since we have that yellow color there, you're probably going to have issues with your confidence, Taurus. You're going to come into new situations, new relationships, new paradigms, and sort of boundaries for some of you, new boundaries. And you're going to not struggle, but I think you're going to have some, did I make the right choice? How can I be sure that this is going to work out? And you're going to need to really bolster your self-confidence and feel from an internal space, again, that what you're doing is correct. Now, again, with the Hermit card, we're talking about going back to things that are painful, uncomfortable, things from your past or things from your recent past that have come into your life that have really destabilized you in some type of way, withheld you, stifled you, whatever. And you will struggle to let those things go, let those people go, let those circumstances and situations go, because there is some sense of normalcy and routine associated with them. So when you leave that job, when you get rid of that friend who was not really a friend, it was more of like a frenemy or whatever, or get rid of that romantic entanglement that you love the person, they love you, but when you guys get together, it's a toxic mix, whatever. We're going to have second thoughts. We're going to have apprehension. We're going to have anxiety and thank you. Wow, they're giving me like withdrawal, especially for those like where you're in a toxic situation, relationship, behavior, whatever we're talking about. Something that is a toxic tie to you, just like a withdrawal from a drug. You will want the thing that is essentially destroying you. I'm not a substance abuse expert. I am not certified in anything, but I do know a little something because I've taken a few classes and I'm not a fucking idiot. No offense to anybody. But when your body gets acclimated to a drug, and it could be something, as simple as nicotine. It doesn't have to be like, heroin or meth or anything like that. But whenever your body is addicted to something, it wants that thing. Even though studies have shown, you can go to any freaking certified doctor, and ask, hey, if I do this, will it hurt my body? Yes, don't do that. If you do it in excess, it's going to hurt your body. So nicotine, alcohol, any type of heavy drug, illicit drug, or relationships even, you get attached. Your body craves and needs that substance, craves and needs that person, craves and needs that food, whatever we're talking about, craves and needs that bad behavior, overeating, sleeping too much, playing video games all day, spending or gambling your money away, whatever we're talking about. Then when you say, I've had enough, I want to clean up my act, I want to get my life together, I want to get rid of this thing that's causing me harm, this person that's causing me harm, this behavior that causes me harm, and you go cold turkey, or you slowly release yourself from it. Now that you're released, in the future, again, this is coming up, now that you're released, you're worried. Am I doing the right thing? your body, your brain, your chemistry, your physiological self is craving that high, craving that connection, craving that comfortability is more the bigger undertone of this. Craving the comfort of knowing what comes with lighting up that cigarette, what comes with lying in bed with that person, what comes with, you know, binge eating an entire pizza by yourself. No judgment on any of this, by the way. We all have our things, okay? No judgment here. The issue for you, Taurus, is remember the goal. Remember the start of the goal here with the Hermit. Remember and recall the progress that you're making. Although it might be painful and kind of strange or seem sudden and seem unfortunate at sometimes, the cycle is coming up in your favor. It is. But you worry that it's not. You gotta sidestep this. You gotta sidestep this. When this comes in, if you've seen this reading, come back to it, watch this again. Sidestep that shit. Keep on top of your affirmations, keep on top of your meditation and prayer, keep on top of your therapy, keep on top of, you know, and if it's not a matter of needing to talk it out or needing to remind yourself of your goals, go do something else. Not to say replace your addiction or your toxic connection with something or someone else with another toxic relationship or another toxic connection. No. If you are giving up smoking, for an example, take up a hobby. You know, I know how some people say, oh, you know, hypnotism or like doing like the snapping of a rubber band or like doing the gum and doing the patches. Fine, try all those things. But ultimately, you need to replace the pleasure that was associated with your vice or with your toxic connection with a positive experience in another area that's not toxic. Now, what that is, how that is, I don't know. So if you give up smoking, pick up another hobby, start knitting, start crocheting. I don't fucking know. Do something different, okay? I hope that makes sense. All right. Here I am knocking everything all over the board here. All right, so your fourth position is basically like a gift, a present, something coming in that is basically being awarded to you or bestowed upon you that is helpful, okay? Lover's card. Card of Gemini. So you might have a Gemini in your life that is significant, but does not have to be. Well, it would be hard to argue that for some of you, this could be a new relationship of a romantic type coming into you or being revitalized for a few of you. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. They want to just like, that was very crystal clear. Thank you. All right. So remember what I just said here with this Eight of Swords. Toxic relationship, blah, 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 blah. I think a lot of times when we say that, we get this idea that the other person is toxic, that the other person carries the burden of being the bad, you know, the bad one, quote unquote, or the person with the issues. Here's the thing. You own some toxic energy in a relationship. For those who are having a revitalization, not a new person, a revitalization, a reunion, a reconciliation, whatever you want to call it. You both have exhibited toxic behavior. For those where you're on the path of reconciliation, you want to get back with them, they want to get back with you. You both mutually want to be with each other, and you want to face your toxicity together, or you have been working perhaps in couples therapy to work through your issues. I feel that for some of you, a small portion, it's going to work out. For others, it's not that person. It might be a new person. And it might not be romantic. That's the thing. You might let go of a romantic connection and you might have a new connection with someone that is platonic. Okay? That is a good friend of yours. Or you get closer with your sister again because she's helping you through a divorce. Something like that. This lovers for you coming in as something that rewards you. Like, it feels like Thank you. It feels like a meeting of the minds, you know, an understanding between two parties. Romantic, platonic, family, whatever. It's seeing eye to eye with someone. Ah, thank you. It's getting clarity through somebody else, which is kind of reliant the way that sounds, but is really how they're making me see this. Perhaps previous to this, you or the other person or you or someone else was not able to see a situation from a certain perspective, from a certain point of view. And now it's sort of like taking a walk in somebody else's shoes. You're able to, or someone else is able to see your point of view, or vice versa, however this plays out. And it's like, oh, it's like a light bulb moment. It's like a ding. Oh, I didn't know this about your experience. Now that I know this, and now that I see this, now that I understand it, we have some type of union. We have some type of not commitment, but I mean, for some of you, it might come in the form of a commitment, but what? Partnership. Yeah. And it's honest. It's clear. It's very, very harmonious, romantic or otherwise. Again, this is going to play out for everybody. And for those where you're not having a person come in and you guys become a partnership or a commitment or anything like that, it is still, you get clarity through somebody else's efforts, through somebody else's input, through somebody else's critique is how they're bringing that out. Critique. Okay. So I think that's more for those who you're working with a therapist, or you're working with a guru, or you're working with a life coach, whatever you're doing. I think that someone might be hitting you. For those where this is not romantic, it's not about partnership, but you do have a significant connection with someone. I think what is happening is they are hitting you with some hard truths about yourself, about your life, about your circumstances. And at some point it just starts to click. You know, they're giving you homework, they're giving you exercises, they're not influencing, but they're encouraging you to, you know, do manifestation or to seek counsel within the church, whatever you're doing. And then after you, again, because that's the reason we're saying this. I'm like, why are we saying this? Because the significance of this spread is that everything is interlocked. Everything is touching, right? So the Lovers touches the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune. And the Lovers is touching the Hermit, which is your first starting position, which is located in your past, right? So the work that you started months ago, weeks ago, years ago, is now going to give you the Lovers, is now going to give you that clarity and that ability to see eye to eye with someone, or that ability to see your circumstances from somebody else's perspective, or vice versa, whatever. But there is this harmonious union thing going on where you get to a more peaceful place with someone, or through someone's support of you or assistance towards you. Does that make sense? I like this. I really like this. Touches the Wheel of Fortune as well. What's the issue here? Okay. So the issue, especially for those where this is a revitalization or a reconciliation with someone, whether it's a friend or a lover, there's a little bit of a IDK about this. I don't know. A little bit of uncertainty, especially for those where we're reconciling with someone from our past. Okay. Especially if we had toxic issues with that person. And, oh, thank you. I was like, so the reconciliation, I'm like, for some of you, it is getting back to basics with someone romantically. It's like, no, we're doing this again. Let's go. Round 2, you and me. We're going to get back into a relationship. For others, it's not a relationship like you had before. It's like, let's be friends. Let's be confidants with one another. Let's be comrades. Let's be supportive of each other, even though we're not going to have this romantic component to our lives. In that reconciliation group, you would be pensive. You would be thinking, perhaps, I don't know where on this wheel I am. Am I in the ascension? Am I falling off of the wheel? Am I at the top of, like, you don't know yet, or it's not clear to you. You feel good in the connection, you feel good with this person, but in the totality of your life, considering the work that you've done with the Hermit card, you're like, is it too soon to reconcile? Is it too soon to get back into good graces with this person? Is it too soon to, have a second chance at this relationship, to try to make this marriage work again? Whatever you're dealing with, there is this, within the moment, when you're with the person, it feels great. But when you step away and other people might be like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, am I doing something wrong? I'm not really sure. And again, we have this issue of fixed energy versus very fluid energy, okay? So you're going to, for some of you, you're going to struggle, especially if we're talking reconciliation of some sort. You guys have a different issue than those who are like, having union or partnership and connection with someone and it's new. It's just different. So pick which side you're on and go with it, okay? Now, wow, that's nice. I didn't even realize what was next, but that I already know. This is good. This is good. Some of you are going to be like, oh no, but I'm going to tell you it's good. And you wouldn't normally think that with the 9 of Pentacles coming up, right? Second, or your 5th position is the exact same as the 4th, okay? So this is something else that's coming into your life. That's a reward. That's something that is here to benefit you or add to your experience, right? 9 of Pentacles. Now, some of you are like, oh my God, tarot. You're like, why would that be bad? Well, for those who are interested in this reading or have romantic love as sort of the focus or beacon of their birthday period, this is interesting. We go from the Lovers, which is about union, which is about connection, which is about making commitment and fidelity or passionate connections with people, with the 9 of Pentacles, which is the single ladies card. So it's like, that's a conflict, isn't it? Sort of. So for some of you, let's quickly address the non-romantic people, right? This is about standing in your power, standing in your independence, standing on your own 2 feet, and really having, like, glory is what they're saying. Like, this woman, the silhouette is like standing in her garden. I'm assuming it's a nice, clear day. The sun might be out. There's a nice breeze. She's just like basking in the glory of herself. And that is really important, again, since very deep internal reflective state with that Hermit card. You come out of your shell. You come out of that deep, dark cave, and you are flexing on them, okay? You're flexing on them. Lovely. Especially if you're on this solo dolo spiritual track, this I'm trying to get to a better part of myself. I'm trying to become a better person for myself. If you have a very self-centered, self-interested journey, this is wonderful. So that's the first group. Solo dolo, single pringle. You're not interested in any romantic connections with people. Your family and your friend connections are fine. This has just been about you, Taurus. Great. Coming out here with the 9 of Pentacles. Perfect. For those where we have vested interest in relationships, family, friends, romantic partners, ex-lovers, ex-husbands, ex-wives, separated partners, whatever your situation is, you might be like, how is this great? I want to be with them, or I want to be connected with this person, or I want to make sure our relationship is good. It's already good. We just discussed it. It's fine. You have some, you might be like, oh, I don't know what other people are going to think, or can I really trust this person after they broke my trust, or will they trust me after I broke their trust, whatever. There's some anxiety a little bit about sort of the external perception and the issue of time, if there has been enough time to heal, if there has been enough time to really process what has happened historically between you and someone else. Great. The reason this works is because, Taurus, you have to make it work. You have to, okay, take this on to yourself, is you have to stand in your own glory and mean that shit, okay? So, what do I mean by that? This is single ladies card. Men, this is open to you too. You have to recognize, rely, and utilize your own independence. Even if you are married, even if you are making a lifelong commitment to someone, or you're diving into the deep end with someone. You're saying, to hell with what the world says, let's just be together, or let's be, you know, this unified unit. Let's just be this unit. You still have to exude some type of individual self. So that speaks specifically to some of you where previous to this point, you lost yourself in a relationship, partnership, friendship, business partnership, romance, I don't care. You lost yourself. You didn't have you weren't standing on your own 2 feet in some form or fashion. Maybe financially, since we're talking about pentacles, but it does not have to be that. In any sense of the word, you did not know yourself. You did not recognize yourself. You did not know how to define yourself or how to exude and sort of exert yourself as your own person. I hope this makes sense. Independent, agency. I have choice. I have issues. I have issues. I have beliefs. I have my own independent thoughts and emotions. I'm not whatever my partner is. I'm not whatever they say I am. I am who I say I am. Like, you make more declarative statements now when you are coming to this 9 of Pentacles energy. That works for both groups, but I think it's going to be a little bit more of a, almost like an oxymoron to some of you. Well, how can I be in a relationship? Like, some of you might literally, and I'm sitting here as the outsider, I'm like, of course, it's easy, of course, duh. But some of you might have, or have previous to this point, thought that when you come into union with someone, regardless of what type of relationship it is 2 halves that come together to make a whole. Error number 1. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm about to put the boot in a little bit. I don't believe that. I have not believed that since I was a kid. Since I was a kid, I literally was saying this shit when I was 10 years old. That doesn't make sense. Why would 2 people be half of a person? That doesn't make sense. It should be 2 people come together to make 2. A union of 2. A union of 2. Why would, like, who wants to come into union so that you make a union of 1? 1 is less than 2. So when you make union with a person, regardless of the type of relationship it is, you want both people to have independent sense of self to come together. You don't, because, oh my God, I hope you get what I'm saying. I hope you get what I'm saying. So that's what this is. A little bit of a maturing in some of your perspectives of what it means to be in a relationship with someone is not, I'm half a person, you're half a person, let's come together and make this hodgepodge hybrid person. No, let's both be our own people. Let's both be independent, and let's make something happen together as a unit of 2 versus a unit of 1. That's stupid. Like, if I'm honest, I think that's stupid. Sorry if that offends you. But, so that's where you guys are having this glow up, even if you're recommitting to someone, even if you're reconciling with someone, even if you're diving in the deep end with someone, you're going in there as Taurus. By, like, me. I'm my full self in this relationship now. Not half of myself, not 3/4, not 68%, whatever. No, 100% me, 100% you. Let's do this shit. That's how this is, okay? Now, and the issue is that it touches that Wheel of Fortune. So again, we're like having that change, and we're having that struggle with embracing change because we have that fixed sign energy that's within you, Taurus, right? So there's a little bit of a, you might be a little tentative. You might be a little shy about exerting yourself, okay? And coming in as a full-fledged individual. You might be a little about that, but I think that's what you need. And of course, it's going to give you a little bit of anxiety because this might be the first time that you sort of not make demands of your partner or make demands in a relationship, but it might be the first time that you're insistent. It might be the first time that you express your ideas, express your feelings openly, unapologetically, okay? Because that's the thing with the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles is an energy that does not fear standing alone, that does not fear or feel somehow ostracized by being alone, by being the only one standing in that space. The 9 of Pentacles, that energy owns the space, owns their own body, owns their own mind. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, guys. So your 6th card, and I don't know if you can tell, I kind of like do like a little hodgepodgey or like really ranky-danky kind of cake shape here. We have a bottom tier, we have a second tier of a cake, and what comes at the top of a cake, we have what we call the wish, or what I call your wish. You know, it's where the candle would be placed on a cake. So your wish, what you're hoping for, what you're dreaming for, sort of what has been central to you in your hopes and wishes is the Ten of Pentacles. So that kind of makes sense. Now, for those where this is a romantic thing, this is very clear. Happy family, legacy, okay? Future forward. I want to have a beautiful home. I want to have beautiful children. I want to have lovely traditions and holidays with my family, whether you have one now that's established or you are working to build one, regardless. So for you guys in the romantic sense, or even in your family, even if things have been sort of destabilized between you and your siblings or you and your parents, you want that union back. You want that sort of sense of community, but on a family basis. Yeah, we all are happy. We all are well-to-do. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses, but behind it all, we love and support each other, even in our worst times, even in our darkest times, okay? The other aspect, of course, with this being Pentacles is we all not have a lot of money, but we are comfortable. We are comfortable. Whatever socioeconomic ladder or rung of the ladder you're on, if you're a multimillionaire or if you're a thousandaire, whatever, you want to be comfortable. You don't want to have to want for much in terms of money. Now, for those where it's not about connection and you're really on this solo dolo, single pringle, I'm just trying to live my best life thing, that still works. You just want those things for yourself. And you want those for people that you consider family, but they might not be your family. So that could be your friends, that could be you and your animals, whatever. But there's a comfortability and a sense of strong, firm, dependable foundations when we talk about the Ten of Pentacles. We're also, I think for you, Taurus, the big part is the future, legacy, generations down or years down the road. So what are we talking? In terms of, again, family connections. If you don't have children, you're thinking about having children, or you're wondering about, or you're making plans and making preparations for, okay, so the day that I do become a parent or that we do start a family, we need to have this in place. We want to have a house that will be able to bring our baby home. We don't want to be living in a 2-bedroom apartment. We want to be living in a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. You know what I mean? So you're thinking down the line. For those where it's not family, you're thinking about your own future and your own security. So, okay, I'm sort of entry level where I work now, or mid-level, mid-management level, and I'm trying to be like the vice president of sales and marketing, something like that. So you're plotting and you're planning the ways in which you're going to ascend those socio-economical ladders, the way you're going to ascend the corporate ladder, or the way that you're going to assure your own future. And maybe for those going back to, I need to quit this job, I hate it, I'm not happy, you're thinking of, okay, what job or what can I do is going to make me happy and also fulfill me financially and with my material world. So you might be thinking of going into business for yourself, or you might be thinking of, okay, in terms of family, like maybe you jumped off and you went on your own path in your job, and you realize, hey, my cousin or my uncle or whoever has a small business, maybe I could work for him, or maybe I could do something there. And you're like, how can we grow our family business? So there's this idea of, for some of you, where you don't want to play the corporate game, and you don't want to be, constantly working for somebody else, or you don't want to have to grind for so many years before you get promoted, whatever you're doing, you're thinking of ways that you can become entrepreneurial, yeah? To expand from this insular place with people that you're familiar with, people that you're comfortable with, people that you're related to, or that you have some type of connection with, you have some type of fidelity with. Does that make sense? Guys, that's wonderful. I like that. You got a few hiccups here in the base, but really the gift and the wish on your cake, that's really fun. I like it. Of all the birthday readings that I've done since Leo, I think this is the best one. And that's over several months, you know what I mean? That's been almost a year. Or what is that, like 8 months or something like that? All right, let's go ahead and get you guys an oracle card. Which deck are we going to use? Might be that one. We'll see. Hold on. It's not that one, that's for sure. Okay, thank you. That's what I thought. I was like, it's probably going to be the Goddess Guidance. And I was right. It's the Goddess Guidance by Doreen Virtue. I don't know if many people use this deck. We'll see. All right, let's get an Oracle card for Taurus, please, for their birthday month. Oracle card for Taurus during their birthday month. One more, thank you. All right, let's see what's going on for you. There you go. Medicine Woman. Ooh, Eechel? I'm not sure how you say that. We're going to look her up, though. Just a second. Because, you know, Oracle cards, we read from the book. Eechel, Medicine Woman. You are a channel for divine healing power. Message from Eechel. I think that's how you say it. We're going to find out on the next page. Anyway, commanding power is not the same as demanding it. Demanding comes from a childlike place akin to a tantrum, based upon the fear that it might be withheld. Commanding is based upon the sure, steady knowledge that you are part of the Great Spirit's grace and wisdom. You're a lightning rod that can conduct the power. Simply connect to the power through unyielding clarity of your thought processes. Don't waver for a moment in your sure and steady decision to be a conduit of the power that already resides within you. Connect to the even bigger source and allow it to amplify your natural power. In this way, you're a steady connector of the infinite, from the infinite and to the infinite. In other words, if I could turn the page, there you go. In other words, it's all spirit around you, through you, and to whomever you're healing. Nice. Other meanings to this card. You're a healer, you are being healed, the situation and or your loved one is being healed. Honor your healing knowledge and abilities. Learn about healing. Teach the healing arts. Start or continue your healing practice. So the way you're supposed to now pronounce this name is Eechel. Okay, Eechel. My bad. Eechel. Well, that kind of works, guys. Eechel for you, especially this healing thing. So I think that really speaks to your starting position with the Hermit. Talks about that issue with reconciliation, maybe healing or working on toxicity within a relationship, within yourself. Definitely standing in your power, like it was talking about being a conduit to the power and to spirit. That's definitely there in that Nine of Pentacles. And then, of course, having sort of this vibrancy or this clarity comes through with the Ten of Pentacles as well. Guys, Taurus, you guys have a freaking phenomenal reading. Happy I don't want to curse at you guys because I don't think some people know that's like my personality is I curse like a sailor, and I don't mean it in a derogatory way, but anyway, regardless, I hope you guys have a wonderful birthday. I hope this message kind of gives you clarity, kind of gives you hope, and kind of, you know, if anything, helps spur you forward or helps you continue on this path that I feel that you've been on for a minute. And I feel regardless of whatever anxieties or worries that you have, it's going to work out. Hang in there, guys. Okay? Taurus, that has been your birthday message. I hope that you like it. It'll be another year before I bring you this particular message, but you've got some things to look forward to. I am doing your midway, aka very late, mid-April reading. I'm going to do that shortly after I catch up on a private reading. Then I'm also going to bring you May messages probably next week. So you've got a few things to look forward to. If you have not subscribed already, I would love to see you join me as a subscriber to my channel. You can hit that button down below. Also, you can leave comments on the video. I would love to see that. Like the video. I would love to see that. And of course, sharing the video. I don't see that as readily, but if you do that, that is also amazing. All of those things help my channel grow. It shows support to me. It lets YouTube know that you like what's going on around here, and it gets more people involved in the channel, and it gets more traffic for me as a reader. And that's just, you know, sort of the way that we can support each other in this modern world with technology all around us. Okay, so if you want to do any and all of those things, I would appreciate it. Taurus, I will be back very shortly with some mid-April messages for you. I'm going to be back with a May message for you, so I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care. Bye.